Welcome to Talkin' Halos. Derek Ciapola with my co-host, my partners in crime, Jared Timms, Nate Green for our National League preview show. Yes, I know Angels podcast, but we can't start the season without previewing everything, right? Guys, how you doing? Starting with Jared.
I am doing fantastic. It is a fantastic day. We have baseball right around the corner. Baseball, baseball, baseball. Come on, baseball season. Excited for the minor leagues to start, though.
Of course you are. Of course you are. Nate.
It's a great day. Yeah, Jose Suarez is no longer on on the Angels roster, so it's hard. It's
We're
hard to be.
still
It's
doing
hard
it.
to be disappointed right now. I set myself up to be excited by convincing myself that he was going to be on the roster, and now that he's not, it's like it's great.
Okay. Well, moving on. Moving on. You guys ready to predict some stuff for the NL?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. Jared, since you love prospects and you love young players, let's go with Rookie of the Year first. National Rookie of the Year. Nate, who's your pick?
You had to do that to him. Um, Unfortunately, I'm gonna go with Sasaki. I think he's the obvious choice. Um, and the Dodgers would get a draft pick out of that as well. So that's kind of the insult to injury. But I think Sasaki is the Rookie of the Year winner.
Jared.
Oh, it's hard not to go with Sasaki. It really is. I mean, the dude looks really, really good. I'll go against him though. I'll stick with another pitcher and I'll stick to the theme as well in Pittsburgh and say Bubba Chandler.
You
Don't
think
know
he's gonna be up
why.
that soon?
What?
You think he'll be up that soon?
I mean, he looks freaking really, really dang good. If not, yeah, I'll take a healthy Andrew Painter. I'm gonna
Painter.
start throwing out random starting pitchers at that point. But I mean, Painter, Bubba Chandler. There's a lot of good young talent for sure in the NL. But I mean, it's gonna be tough to beat Sasaki.
I'm going Dylan Cruz, outfielder for the Washington Nationals. Came up briefly last year. I like him a lot, considering what he can bring. He can bring 20, potentially 2030 in a much improved lineup, hit with James Wood in there, and it's a hitter's ballpark. So downside, a lot of good pitching in that division, but there's room for production from him. Just hoping that he doesn't prove me wrong when it comes down to it. So there's our predictions. Here we go. Cy Young, National League, going to Jared first.
Oh man, it's hard not to stick with the Pirates theme. Paul Skeens and everything, but I'm gonna go ahead and say on a contract year, Dylan Cease if he stays healthy.
Ooh, Dylan Cease.
If he stays healthy, gotta stay healthy
If he
there.
stays healthy.
Contract year,
Okay.
not a bad. No, I'm not gonna. Yeah, Dylan Cease. Let's go with that.
Nate.
I'm gonna stay chalk and go Paul Skeens. I mean, I'll just keep taking the obvious guys right now.
I don't know if there's an obvious guy in the NL, man. I mean, Logan Webb's always up there. Zach Wheeler, Corbin Burns on a new team. I know you mentioned Skeens. Chris Sale won it last year. Aaron Nola. There's a lot of good pitching in the NL, man.
All right. Well, Paul Skeens would be I love Paul
But
Skeens. I live
I
close enough to go see him play. Here's my problem with Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's not going to win a lot of games. They don't have a line to protect them. Um, and when it comes down to it, that does matter. I think I'm gonna look towards Arizona with Corbin Burns out there. I like what they've done out there. I like what they're doing out there, and he's gonna win a lot of games. So Corbin Burns for me.
have a question I should have asked before this with the NL. Would you take the Dodgers winning the Cy, like a Dodgers pitcher winning the Cy Young, or the field? Taking
The
the field. I
field.
mean, obviously we took the field here, but like it's an interesting question to think about.
The field gets 2 extra starts minimum.
Oh, yeah, they're going six man, huh?
Well, I mean, I also think the Dod as great as the Dodgers roster is, and it's amazing. There's also a lot of injury history on that roster. So while this could be a year where they win 120 games, it could also be a year they win 95 games and finish second, and they won't. But there's enough injury history in the roster where it could happen. So we're going to talk about that. Let's do that now. Prediction standings. Let's go with the NL West. Nate, start with you.
Really don't want to do this, but the Dodgers are going to finish first. I've got San Diego second. I'm going to go San Francisco third, Arizona fourth, and Colorado fifth. I know that's crazy with all the acquisitions in Arizona, but I think that San Francisco made some good moves, and I think that they're going to find themselves in third place. Arizona's got some missing pieces offensively. I think Christian Walker is going to be a uh, bigger loss than people think.
Jared.
Um, I know this is an Angels podcast and this is super, again or with what Angels fans would say, but I'm still not completely sold on the Dodgers. I know they have a super team and everything like that, but you throw the three big dudes one after another, and those guys they're the exact same. You're seeing 95 plus with a splitter and a sweeper coming out of the same arm slot. I know you also have Tyler Glasnow. I know you also have Blake Snell, along with 18 other starting pitchers, just in case anybody gets hurt. You already mentioned it. There's injury history there. It's hard to go against the Dodgers. It really, really is. I'm going to say the Padres find a way to sneak it out somehow, just because of how weird as it sounds. They were a very, very good team last year that should have beat the Dodgers in the playoffs as well. So I'm going to say the Dodgers win the West, or the Dodgers don't win the West. The Padres win the West. Dodgers finish in a close second. They probably run away with it, but I'm going to say the Padres win it just to be different. Diamondbacks come in third, Giants in fourth, and the Rockies finish in fifth.
Um, Dodgers take first, but I'm gonna caveat that in a second. Dodgers first, Diamondbacks second, San Diego third. I think San Diego played a little bit above their head last year, and so I'm looking at San Francisco fourth. I don't like everything. I mean, Willie Adames moving from a hitter's park to a pitcher's park. That's not that's not a pickup I'm like, oh, excited about, guys. I'm not sure about that at all. Like, not for them anyways. And Colorado, believe it or not, has some guys coming up that interest me. But they're not there yet. They're not there yet. Here's the thing about the Dodgers going to the injury history. There could be so much going on with them down the pike here, having a long season last year, having older guys with history. I wouldn't be surprised if they got in the playoffs and a team like Arizona beat them, or a team like Philadelphia beat them. That, they're younger teams, a little bit healthier histories. So that's my thoughts on the National League West. Anybody have any thoughts on that?
It's the Dodgers to lose. I know I'm saying the Padres and things like that. It's wishful thinking. I think the Dodgers run away with it and win like 120 games or something stupid like that because that's just kind of the roster they're putting up there. But it's still hard to win 100 plus, 120 plus games in the major leagues, no matter what. So I mean, it comes down to health at the end of the day. So we'll see how healthy they stay, but can't go against it.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, though. The Dodgers have not been 100% healthy
Yeah.
throughout much the last couple of years. They've had a lot of injured problems, especially in their pitching staff.
Yeah, but the
So they
team
have a
there,
track record.
the rotation they're putting in AAA is still better than 95% of the league. I mean,
Maybe. Yeah. But I mean, I'm still saying,
still.
like, there's history there. I'm not saying they lose the division. I'm saying that coming off, again, a long year, World Series run, it wouldn't surprise me if they have some struggles down the stretch. They're going to win the division. National League Central. National League Central. Starting with Jared.
Oh, I have gone against the Brewers every single year, and I'm going to do it again. Just kidding. I think the Brewers win the Centrals. I've gone against them every single year. They're still going to find a way to win at least 85 games again, and I don't know if that's going to be enough to overtake the Cubs, or I mean even the Pirates who are on the up and ups, and I think the Reds are being slept upon too. This is a fun division for sure. But I'm going to say the Brewers still somehow find a way to win the Central, even though they lost to Damas, even though they lost Corbin Burns. I mean, we said it a couple of years ago, like the Brewers aren't going to be able to do it, and they've made it to the playoffs each of the last 3 years or something like that. So I don't even, I'm not going to go against it. I think that they still have a very good chance of winning the division there, or at least being a playoff team. But watch out for the Reds. I know we've been saying that as well for the last couple of years, but watch out for the Reds. They could be sneaky good.
Oh, geez. I mean, Tito. gives them 10 wins.
Yeah.
He's that good a manager. All right, Nate, go.
You took what I was going to say. I was going to say Tito is unbelievable. I have the Reds winning the division because Tito is such a good manager. I think they're going to get some health back. Matt McLean's coming back. They're adding to the rotation. They're adding to the bullpen. So I really like the Reds. I think the Cubs finish in second. This is Milwaukee's like first really. I think this is the year that they really lost guys. Like they've lost guys that we thought were good, but they really were like replacement guys, kind of like what Oakland was doing. 5 or 6 years ago, where it's like, oh man, they lost this guy, and it's like, they replaced him, and it didn't really change too much. But I think the Brewers really lost their heart and soul with Willie Adames. Um, so I have them finishing third, Pirates finishing fourth, and the Cardinals are in last. They're a disaster right now. I don't even know what's going on in St. Louis.
All right, so here we go. I have Milwaukee win the division, in for the same reason that Jared's talking about. Until someone takes them out, I got them win the division. They find a way every year. Brandon Woodruff coming back too, probably in late April, early May. Thus far in his early starts has looked very, very good. Once again, has his speed back. He's instantly their ace that they didn't, that pairs with Freddie Peralta. So then you have Chicago, too much talent to ignore there. They have a good, a much better mix of pitching and hitting compared with Cincinnati. Cincinnati has a lot of hitting. And guys like Christian Encarnacion Strand are going to come back. If he comes back this year, he can hit 35 home runs, 40 home runs even, or he could hit 200 again and fall apart. We don't know with this guy if he does the first part, 35 home runs, 4 home runs, where I'm changing my story. Matt McLean's a big part of that. He's looked great in camp already, but the Reds' Achilles heel right now is their pitching. The guys like Andrew Abbott they're playing they're fly ball pitchers in a fly ball park. Pittsburgh has the pitching even without Jared Jones to compete. They did nothing to improve their lineup in the offseason, and their lineup was awful last year. And so that and at least St. Louis didn't do anything this offseason. Got some prospects. So there we go. Here we go. Last division. National League East. Nate.
This is a tough one. This is really the toughest NL division by far. I've got the Phillies winning this thing. I think the Braves are going to be very talented. They're going to be very good, but they've got guys coming back. You've got Strider, who, probably a month before he's 100% ready. You got Acuna, who's going to be, a month and a half, 2 months before he's ready. So I'm worried about them. They'll figure it out. They'll win enough games to make the playoffs, but they're not going to win the division. The Mets finished third. I just don't think they have enough pitching. Clay Holmes looks like he's going to be a good starter. You got Senga coming back, and then after that, it's Sean Manaea's on the IL, and they're very, very injured in the starting rotation with not a lot of depth there. So that would be my concern with the Mets. And then I have the Nats finishing fourth, young team, still missing a couple pieces, but they're going to be fun. And the Marlins, they might have the worst record in. Actually, no, I will say they have the worst record in the National League over Colorado, which is impressive.
All right. So I'm going to start from the bottom up here. You mentioned the Marlins. Their big story this year is where is Alcantara going to? That's their big story this year. And when will they trade him? Because Alcantara's look fantastic thus far in spring training. Nationals, young, got to line them together, have some pitching coming up, finally looking like they can compete a little bit. Don't be surprised if they encroach in the Mets because of what you just said, Nate. And that's pitching. Shaman and I will be back pretty soon. That gives them three. Who's our last two? And again, for the Mets, making a big deal out of Juan Soto going there, but Citi Field is a pitcher's park. How much will his production drop? Here's my thing. Atlanta, if healthy, is a better team, but I don't know they stay healthy. So Philly, one last run, that older team, I have them going first. Jared?
I don't know if this is the toughest to predict, but this is definitely going to be the best division. In my opinion, Marlins finishing last for sure. Nationals, oh man, they're going to be trending up. They got a very good young core group of guys there, and that's going to be a fun team to deal with in the NL East for years to come. It comes down to the Mets, Phillies, and Braves. I It's hard to go against the Braves. I know they were hurt all last year and everything like that, but I mean they're still a really freaking good team. They are as close to being the Dodgers without being the Dodgers, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna say the Braves take it. It's the Phillies are a very good team. The Mets are also a very, very good team. You guys mentioned the Mets and the rotation question marks. I know they spent a lot of money on Juan Soto, and you're expected to win postseason or win games. But that's a lot of money to spend on one guy, and I think you had a lot more holes than just Juan Soto. But Juan Soto puts butts in seats, so I mean, if we haven't done it yet, but Juan Soto is a good pick for NL MVP. But I'll take the Braves, Phillies, Mets in that order. And I think all three of those teams make it to the playoffs as well.
I was just about to go there. All right, Jared.
So you
Who you
have no
play?
Dodgers in your postseason
Uh, yeah, let's go with that. The Dodgers somehow don't find a way to make it to the postseason.
because you just. Oh wait, no, you could still have the Dodgers in there.
You
Sorry,
can have the
you
Dodgers.
had three,
Yeah.
one, and one for sure. Okay, so
All
the
right, Jared.
Dodgers would probably be your last.
Who are your playoff teams? You have four wild cards.
Oh, I already said it. I said, let's see, the Braves win. So the Phillies, Mets. How many wild card teams are there
One
now?
more,
Four. I got one
one more.
more. Yeah,
Yeah.
then the Dodgers are probably my wild card team there. I know that's just wishful thinking. But I mean, you never know. They won a a 10-year low last year, I think is what it was. So you never know with the Dodgers. I know it's wishful thinking as an Angels fan here, but you never know.
Nate, wild card
Yep.
teams.
So I had the Phillies winning, so the Braves are going to make it. I have the Padres making it, and I think this one's going to be fun. I think the Cubs and Mets. It's going to come down to the end of the year. Um, I'm going to go with the Cubs. I think the Cubs make that one big move to go get a starting pitcher that they're needing, maybe a Sandy Alcantara, someone like that, and push them over the edge.
Okay. I got wild cards. Atlanta. I have Arizona, and I'm iffy on that last one, New York or San Diego. I'm gonna go with oh well, this is from my dad. Okay, I'm going for New York. I'm going for New York. I still think the San Diego played above their heads last year. And they didn't do a whole lot in my view to really improve that. At least the Mets went out there and got somebody an impact player. They've proven they'll go get a guy too as well. So those are my playoff teams. All right. One last question for you. Make one surprise prediction for this season for the NL. One surprise.
So are we not doing MVP?
Oh yeah, MVP.
Let's do that
Okay,
first.
let's do that first. Nate.
This is actually funny because I don't have them winning the division, but I have Fernando Tatis Jr. winning. I think he's going to stay healthy. He was healthy. He was pretty much healthy last year. I think this is his fully healthy year for him to come out and put up some really, really incredible numbers. I know there's a lot of guys that could win this, and I'm really not trying to go the Shohei Ohtani route like, you know, it, everyone probably has.
Jared.
Oh, if it's not Shohei Ohtani, and then it's probably Juan Soto, like I mentioned. Or somebody comes flying out of nowhere. If Ronald Acuna stays healthy, I mean, he could put up a 40-40 type season, and that's what Fangraphs is projecting Shohei Ohtani. So Ronald Acuna is not a bad option either. So I'll say Shohei Ohtani if he's healthy. If it's not, Ronald Acuna.
Oh, it's on me. Ellie De La Cruz in Cincinnati.
Mhm.
Dark horse on him. He makes that entire lineup go. And with McLean back in that lineup, with Encarnacion Strand back, you suddenly have a full lineup. Now they're missing Spencer. I think it's Spencer Steele, TJ is it Fried or Steer, but overall,
Steer.
Steer. Right now I'm looking at that lineup and thinking this is perfect in terms of setting the table for him to blow up even more this year if he stays healthy. So Ellie De La Cruz in Cincinnati. That's my dark horse for MVP. All right, Jared, biggest biggest surprise this year.
Dodgers don't win the West.
Dodgers don't win the West. Nate,
I'm gonna say that at the end of the year, the Pittsburgh Pirates will have the best starting pitching ERA.
what if Jared Jones is out for the season?
I still the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Still, even with Jones. Okay, here we go. Biggest surprise for me. You stole my thunder with the Reds, man. I gotta think of a new one.
Love Tito.
Uh, yeah, like, you really stole my thunder on that one. My biggest surprise is the Washington Nationals are in playoff contention into August. That's my biggest surprise. I think they've improved enough to give teams problems. Eventually, that youth will fall back and they'll fade in August. But watch for Washington to be a problem for much of the year. All right.
All right.
Anything else you guys want to throw out there?
Jose Suarez isn't an Angel anymore.
That's why the
Oh,
Braves can't win the division.
and he's in the National League. There we
we
go.
didn't even mention it. Dang it.
That's
One
why
more
they
pre-
can't win
one-
the.
Wait. We got one more prediction, guys.
Comeback
One more
player of the
prediction.
year?
One more prediction. Well, you want to go two?
No.
Who's your comeback player of the year?
Jose Suarez.
Nate Green.
Comeback player of the year. Kodai Senga.
My comeback player of the year is Spencer Strider. Already looks amazing. Struck out 10 and 4 rings the other day. Spencer Strider. Okay. National League champ. Anybody? It
Dodgers.
got real quiet here.
Dodgers. They match up really well in the playoffs against anybody.
Nate.
The Philadelphia Phillies. Get it done.
See, I'm conflicted. The Dodgers obviously have a better roster, they have a better farm. Philly's older. There's injury concerns there as well with an aging team. Arizona. Arizona shocks everybody. I'll
I
eat my
thought you were going to
words.
go Atlanta after thinking about it.
I don't have my biggest thought process just based off the last couple of years is really injuries affects everything so much. And I think
Yeah.
Arizona has the best chance of being healthy at the end of the year. They've been one of the healthier teams across the league for the last couple of years, which means either they're due or with they'll have improvements. So I'm going Arizona.
Yeah.
And a shocker. All right, guys, follow us on X at Jared_Tims. Follow Nate at Nate Green 34. Follow me at DC Paula. Also, follow the Talkin Halos crew at Talkin Halos. Send us your predictions to on X or talkinhalos@gmail.com. We'll see you Wednesday for the American League. We're out of here.